Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Wrestling YouTube channel. It's time to discuss a little bit of news that's just popped up on our radar. I'm Aaron Nix. He's Carl Wilkinson. Carl Wilkinson, this will really be of interest to you. Top WWE star teases joining AEW. WWE star Kevin Owens tweeted and deleted the coordinates to Mount Rushmore. I'm getting a fresh reaction here, which is why I thought this would be a good fun. He deleted the coordinates to Mount Rushmore, which of course was the name of his faction, which he had with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole in PWG, for anyone who doesn't know. And the tweet has caused many to speculate that he is on his way out of WWE and possibly looking to sign with AEW. For those of you unaware, Owens, as Kevin Steen, was in the Mount Rushmore stable with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole prior to signing with WWE. For what it's worth, Owens said in 2018 that he had signed a 5-year extension with WWE. If that is true, then it means that he will be under contract till 2023. But Owens could have been working when he did the interview, or there was something written in the contract that could let him opt out early. Rey Mysterio, for example, had an opt-out option after 18 months on his previous contract. A granted release request is also possible. Another thing worth noting is that Owens has updated his Twitter profile to say almost there in the location section. If he does indeed leave WWE, then one has to assume that AEW would be very interested in signing him. Owens has not commented on the rumors themselves. Carl Wilkinson, the idea of Kevin Owens heading, your beloved Kevin Owens heading to AEW.
I would lose my balls. I would be so excited because I want to see Kevin Owens happy wherever he is. It doesn't matter. But that being said, sweet baby Jesus, if we got Kevin Steen and Bryan Danielson, like someone's gonna get hurt. I mean, as much as I might not be a fan, I'd love to see Steen and Omega. That would be fun. That'd be a whole lot of fun. Fucking, now I don't want him to leave. On the one hand, because WWE desperately needs him. He's good at everything he does all the time. But if they ain't gonna use him, I mean, AEW's got a very bloated roster at the moment. But you make room for Kevin Steen if it was gonna happen.
Yeah, there's it's one of those things. So I would love to see Kevin Steen in AEW. I love seeing Kevin Owens in WWE. As long as I get to see Kevin Owens on my TV screen in some form or fashion, I'm happy, irregardless of where he lands. However, what do you think about this argument that, for instance, Kevin Steen, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, it almost feels like they're relying very heavily on the early 2000s, or should I say early 2010s version of Ring of Honor. They've gone after a lot of that talent recently. You got to think Bobby Fish might have a chance to turn up soon, hopefully, although he may just go back to Ring of Honor and be done. The only thing that really kind of bugs me a little bit is, first of all, Kevin Owens is an amazing worker. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's one of the best promos in the world. He will make Kenny Omega look like small time by comparison because he's so much better. But yeah, I do worry a little bit about, for instance, if you're going to get ex-WWE talent or WWE talent in general, this is the best place to go to it. Like, get this guy, obviously. However, I do worry that it is just kind of going to eventually be a lot of rehashed WWE talent. Do you think AEW should put a little bit of focus into maybe bringing in some fresh, new, exciting talents that aren't necessarily well known on the indies? Or do you think that the reason that WWE is wrapping that up is why they're sort of pilfering talent that is more WWE heavy?
I think AEW still need to focus on growing their own. Like, I don't think they need to look out. I think they need to look within and build up what they already have. MJF is incredible. Jungle Boy is awesome. That's kind of all you really got for homegrown talent, really. I think they need to spend some time, helping those guys develop, getting them up to the level of the people they're bringing in. Don't get me wrong, at the top of the AEW card right now, like that main event level is fucking stacked. And the guys that they want to elevate to that level have such a well of knowledge now, especially with Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. Like, there's so many guys up there that can help bring those lower guys up, but they can't do that if they're just fucking bugging out of my face, if they keep bringing more people in. So honestly, focus within, build up the guys you brought in because no one else would, which sounds really bad, but it's not as bad as I'm making it sound. Just bring the guys you had faith in and got them onto national television, and now bring them up.
One of the only thing that really kind of concerns me with AEW is that most of their homegrown talent isn't very good. Take away Darby Allin, okay, and take away Jungle Boy. They're all a bit shit. They are. Like, are you going to pay money to see Chuck Taylor? Are you going to pay money to see Orange Cassidy? I like Wheeler Yuta, but he's just a good wrestler. There's not really much else there. They're guys who you think, that's a great wrestler. But as we've seen so often, it takes great wrestlers 15 to 20 years to truly be recognized as all-time greats or big stars. Daniel Bryan took the best part of 10 years to get to that position. So many, because Daniel Bryan, let's not forget, he spent over a decade on the Indies before he even got to WWE, and he was never considered a big star. He was always considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, a lot of these guys. Cesaro is a really good example of that. How long has it taken before we've sort of sat back and thought, Cesaro is pretty good, maybe give him a title? Like, it's taken a long time to get there. Kofi Kingston, let's be fair, he was in WWE for 10 years before anyone even gave a shit, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, he's so underutilized. I was like, that's funny, you weren't saying that 5 years ago. Fickle is obviously the word. The fan base is always going to be quite fickle. My problem is, it's great. Kevin Steen is an amazing acquisition. If they did get him, obviously it's all hyperbole. We don't know. That's just some dumb rumor on a dirt sheet. And obviously people see is how often is Kevin Steen like a troll on his Twitter account at the best of times anyway. For me, my worry is all these people coming in is great. Where are your homegrown stars? What was the biggest problem WCW had? That they didn't push the people who were world-class, but weren't necessarily high-end names, like Eddie Guerrero, like Chris Benoit, like Dean Malenko, like Perry Saturn. There was so many guys there, Chris Jericho. These people felt like they could be big, but they weren't given an opportunity to be big. AEW, on the other hand, the different thing here is that they're actually letting these talents have the opportunity to be big. Orange Cassidy. Now, they're over with their hardcore fan base. No casual in their right mind is going to sit there and say, say your wrestling friend bursts in the room and you've stopped watching wrestling for the best part of 10 years, and he bursts in the room and says, yo, CM Punk's back in AEW, bruv, and they've got Kevin Owens. So you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Might give this a watch. Who are their stars? Orange Cassidy. Who's that? He wears jeans and wrestles with his hands in his pockets. WWE are bringing back John Cena and The Rock. Okay. Who are AEW using who is, a big star that they own in terms of property? Marco Stunt. No. I feel like Jungle Boy has a lot of pressure on him, and also they're not booking him very well, are they? Let's be honest. When was the last time he won a major matchup? I swear to God, he jobs every time he has a big match, every single time without fail. That's what hurts him the most. That being said, however, it's very cool news. It's very exciting. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan because you could still watch all the other stuff and have fun, but then you could wake up and think, oh my God, who's going to jump shit now? And this is exactly how it felt when I was 13, 14 years old, watching people jump shit between WCW and WWF, And I reckon at some point we're going to start seeing a reversal where some people who can't get a look in AEW are going to think contracts up, maybe WWE's developmental system, maybe SmackDown or Raw might have a place for me. You just don't know, because WWE has made a lot of room by pilfering all these people out, or turfing them out, should I say, and AEW is helping them make room by picking up a lot of them. So, but WWE right now seems very focused on making new stars. Where are all the American footballs? I don't necessarily think that's a good idea, but it is what it is. Anything to add, mate?
No, just I'm trying to think of who would be a big star from AEW to leave to go to WWE.
They don't have one right now, not in my opinion. Their biggest stars are Jungle Boy and Darby Allin, and that they've made. It's so funny. So somebody wrote, I don't want to shit on people, but I'll leave it with this. somebody put a list up on Twitter the other day and it caught a lot of fire, loads of retweets, because somebody said, yeah, AEW, it's great, but they're not actually making their own stars. And this bloke went off on a tirade about how AEW has made more stars than WWE ever could. And so it listed them, right? And I took the liberty of looking at this list. So we had Griff Garrison. Would you say he's a star?
I don't know who that is.
Well, there you go. Brian Pillman Jr.
I think the kid's got potential, but he ain't a star.
He's not a star. He should be. And they should have pushed him to the moon, but instead they chucked him in this awful gimmick with admittedly two very talented people. I really like Julia Hart and I actually like Griff Garrison, but they're not stars. They're just every talents, you know. The other list of people that are on this, we had Wheeler Yuta. Nobody knows who he is yet. Daniel Garcia, he's been there 4 weeks. You know, obviously Darby Allin, Jungle Boy, that's fine. Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt. Luchasaurus to a certain extent, but that's only because of his size. I don't think that's because he's legitimately a great star. And by the way, he's a terrible promo. So boring. And ironically enough, I think Luchasaurus would probably get a lot more traction in WWE. His gimmick's built for it. I really believe that. I really think he would probably sell merch. You know, he'd have a... Yeah, I think people would lose their minds for that kind of stuff in WWE. But there was a number of people on this list, and I don't want to be rude, but none of them were stars. Chuck Taylor's not a fucking star. Orange Cassidy's not a star. These aren't stars. These are fun wrestlers. If you like them, better. You know, they got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. They're not stars. They're great talents, but they're not. Because, by the way, Ethan Page, what a waste. Holy shit. One of the best mic workers. And when we last really enjoyed AEW up until recently, we were really psyched about him, you know, coming in, his debut, and thinking, yo, that's a big deal. That would, you know, and obviously it's got to be the North, hasn't it? Do you want to see the North in AEW?
I think there's
no
some
room
guys.
For them.
I think there are some guys I'd love to see Josh Alexander wrestle in AEW because of that working relationship. I don't want him to be a full-time AEW star because I think he'd be, you know, a small fish in a big pond. Whereas in Impact, he is the X Division champion. He's the best wrestler they've got. Like, he can make Impact a viable, even more viable alternative.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. But I want to know what you think in the comments below. Is Kevin Owens a good fit for AEW? And also, is it a good business move to bring in someone like Kevin Owens? Because he must be staring down the barrel of 40 now, or getting close to 40, which isn't a problem. He's probably got, you know, the way he's wrestling many, many years ahead. However, he's not somebody that you would look to build the future around. So, you know, do you sit there and think, oh, for fuck's sake, it's another WWE guy? I want to know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments below. Let us know what you think. And most importantly, we'll catch you very soon for some more news from the WrestlePlug Sports Bar.